Alright, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got a phenomenal hip-hop artist, living legend. We got Rakim Al Jabbaar right here, live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Peace, I'm blessed. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. You know, our country's slowly starting to open back up, so starting to feel a little bit like normal again, man. But nowadays I don't even really know what normal is.
Yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to again, some readjustment.
But I gotta ask you, man, because I know you're a really busy individual, man, so I'm gonna dive right into this interview, but I have to ask you, like, what actually sparked your music career to begin with? Like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas, and my father, Big Al, may he rest in peace. He was a part of the first hip hop act to come out of Dallas, Texas. You know, so that's really the source of my inspiration. He passed when I was 12, and he named me after the great Rakim from Eric B. and Rakim because he always wanted me to rhyme. So when he passed, that's when I picked the pen up and started this journey.
And I gotta ask as well, because like you mentioned, like your late great legendary father passed away when you were a young age. Like, what's some of the things you actually learned from him that actually carried on into your musical career?
One of the main things that I always hold on to is that he always told me to never write a rhyme that you can't perform live by yourself without the track.
And also as well, man, in 2016, you were actually part of the EP This Is Hip Hop by Nemesis. I was wondering, how did yourself and Nemesis get connected? And of course, what was it like working on that project together?
Well, we were connected because that was my father's group. So we just, with me, that was my interest into the music industry. And so I always wanted to do something to honor him at the beginning. So I linked up with DJ Snake, and that was one of the tracks that we came out with. They did pretty good.
And I gotta say as well, man, it's really cool that you actually joined your father's group as well. You know what I mean? It kind of carry on the torch of your father's legacy.
Right.
And I have to ask, do you guys have any projects currently in the works? Because it would be phenomenal to hear another Nemesis record.
Yeah, we really right now that's in Snake hands. Right now we've done basically a whole project, and he's about to roll it out pretty soon. We got some pretty big features on there too. You know what I'm saying? I know people would be excited to hear.
And also as well, on March 9th, 2017, you actually dropped a phenomenal album titled No Pen Theory. I was wondering, what's the story behind that iconic record? And of course, where can our listeners actually snag themselves a copy today?
You can get that on any streaming platform. The thing with that is like, since I was 15, I stopped writing my rhymes down. And I'm not punching in either, like bar for bar. I write the whole song in my head and then record it, but of course, it's like, if you don't witness that in person, then it seems like something that I'm just saying to be cool. So that's where the title came from. My objective was to showcase my versatility because I'm from the South, so I have those Southern influences like UGK, Scarface, and Chameleon there and whatnot, but I also fell in love with East Coast hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? So I love the Reasonable Doubt album by Hov. I love Illmatic by Nas. So that was me putting all of my influences together and basically giving you my own interpretation of that.
And I gotta say as well, my favorite joint off that record is actually Sunshine, man. I gotta say, absolute amazing inspirational song.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the fan favorite off of that album for sure.
And I gotta ask you as well, because I do know like the record is a few years old, but do you have any hard copies available for the old school listeners that really do still want to snag a CD copy?
Oh yeah, if you hit me directly on Instagram, I can get you a hard copy for sure. I still have CDs, and in the next 12 months, that album will be available on vinyl too.
And also as well, you actually had the opportunity to open up for Eric B. and Rakim during their 2018 tour. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that experience, and of course, what was that experience like, just being able to open up for an individual that you're actually named after?
It was surreal. I would say it was a dream come true, but that's not something that I ever would have imagined that would have been able to happen. And then, in meeting him, Rakim is like the coolest celebrity or rapper, whatever, that I've ever met in my life. He's extremely down to earth. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, it was a beautiful night, man. It's something I'll never forget. I actually have a poster in my house, a blown up picture of me and him having a conversation that night.
And I have to ask as well, man. Like, did he know that you're actually named after him, or was that something he had no clue about it?
Nah, he knew that I was named after him. And actually, my father, because my father used to throw shows too, and my father booked him twice back in the day, so he remembered them and everything.
And also as well, man, you actually went on tour with the Wu-Tang Clan during their 25th anniversary tour called 36 Chambers. I was wondering, what was that experience like? And of course, what was it like actually just going on tour with one of the biggest East Coast groups of all time?
Man, that was crazy because that's my first time, doing those bigger venues to where, an act the level of Wu-Tang, the way that the venues accommodate them when they come in, that's things that I only normally see on TV. You know what I'm saying? And then to be able to interact with people that I idolize and kind of mimic myself. I got Method Man in my top 5, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a very surreal moment to be able to watch them that close and study from the people who laid the foundation for what I do today.
And also, pertaining to that tour, did you actually do any overseas or international shows, or did you just stay strictly on their U.S. side of the 36 Chambers tour?
I just did the Texas run.
But I gotta say, either way, man, it's definitely an amazing experience. Like, not everybody can say that they went on tour with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
And also, man, in 2019, you actually won Best Songwriter at the 31st Dallas Observer Music Awards. I was wondering, how did it feel accepting that award and just being recognized by your city?
Man, that was a dope thing because, no matter what award show it is, the hip-hop artists don't usually get the recognition for the songwriting, so I took pride in being able to be the best songwriter in the city that year, because that's saying a lot for a hip-hop artist.
And then I just want to extend my congratulations on that as well, man, because it's always an amazing feeling when you get recognized by by an individual outside of your city, man. But when you get recognized by your community, that just feels 10 times better.
Definitely, I agree.
And also, man, February 12th of this year, you actually teamed up with Big Pun and Classic Music to actually release the single "Picture Me Rollin'." I was wondering, what's the story behind that phenomenal song? And of course, how did yourself, Classic Music, and Bun B actually get connected?
Shout out to the homie Smooth Vega. He's a promoter out here. He connects a lot of dots for me. He believes in me a lot. So he wanted me to do that record with Bun. I got my main producer Leo to do the production, and then I picked Classic Music to do the hook because he worked with Bun before, and I knew Classic could bring that melodic vibe that he needed. And then also Bun knew my father as well. You know what I'm saying? So it was a real full 360 moment to be able to put that song together and make it come out. It's also the hardest song that I worked on. There's 57 different mixes to that song. Before I got to the one that I felt like was the right one.
I gotta say, man, that's most definitely a lot of work in the studio, man. But you know what? I gotta say, it came out clean. It came out phenomenal. I noticed as well you guys even shot a music video for it, man. So you most definitely put a lot of hard work, time, and effort into that phenomenal record.
Yeah, thank you.
But also as well, I actually saw on your Spotify that you actually said Sugarberry Baby is coming soon. I was wondering if you can give our listeners a little bit more insight on this new project, and of course, what can they expect from it when it does drop to the general public?
Yeah, that's a joint project between me and my little sister named Raya, and it's Sugarberry is one of the names for our neighborhood that we grew up in. So that project is like specifically really made for my area. Even though I know people can relate, other people will be able to relate to it. But that's something that I made for my neighborhood, just to rep the neighborhood and give our people a sense of pride.
And I have to ask as well, man, like, what is the estimated release date of that phenomenal project? Because it definitely sounds like a great, like a great listen.
It'll be out. It'll be out both by the end of July.
Just in time for the middle of summer, man. Just in time.
Yeah, right on time. You know it.
But also as well, I have to ask you there, Rakim, what is next for you, man? Because I do know that you have such a legendary career within the music industry, and I know we only touch base on just a sliver of it this evening, man. But what is next for you? Is there anything we missed? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves.
And next, my next album, Big Baby Thanos, will be out December 21st. We're putting a lot of work into it as far as, you know, the rollout, the production, taking everything to the next level and hitting the road. So hopefully y'all are all the way open by the top of the year so I can come out there and rock some shows with y'all.
Hey, most definitely. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we most definitely need some real hip hop like yourself down here in Canada, man. I can't even remember. With this whole COVID thing, man, it feels like it's been years since I've been to a concert. But in retrospect, it's only been about a year and a half. But just sitting around not doing shit for over a year and a half, it definitely feels like a hell of a lot longer.
Oh yeah, especially to a hip hop guy. You know, we need that live music to keep us going.
But also, Rakim, this is the time in the interview, man, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Rakim Al Jabbaar if they're not already doing so.
No doubt. I'm social media is the same on everything. It's Rakim Al Jabbaar. It's RAKIMALJABBAAR. You know, I always want to give a shout out to the universe, to the Most High, you know what I'm saying, for looking after us and guiding us through this life. Give a shout out to my father for laying the foundation and opening the doors, and then shout out to all my loved ones, and shout out to all the listeners that's tuned in right now and stay supporting that underground hip hop.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just taking a little bit of your time this evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege to welcome such a phenomenal, talented, legendary MC on my radio station airwaves.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing.
You are most certainly welcome, man. Have yourself a wonderful night.
You too. Peace.